Good Saturday morning. Welcome to yoga. So you'll want to have two yoga blocks or something, some sort of platform for each elbow about the height of the medium height of the blocks. And we're going to begin in a physical posture. So come on down to your knees. Separate those two items equal in height, your shoulders distance apart. And we're going to come into a posture that helps to open up the tops of the shoulders. So set your elbows on top of each at the center so that they're stabilized. Then your knees back slightly behind your hips. Press your fingertips into each other. Then as you bow your head, begin to trace your thumbs down the back of your head towards the back of your neck, maybe even between the shoulder blades. Now, if your elbows start to splay apart, wider than your shoulders distance, come on up and readjust. Otherwise, that'll be counterproductive to what we're trying to do, which is splay the shoulders apart, broadening the chest and the shoulder blades. Now, do allow your head to release down any comfortable way. Rotate the outer sides of your upper arms towards the ground. Let your chest sink towards the earth, but lift your belly slightly to support your lower back so you're not compressing it in any way. Take note of how you're breathing right now. And just using this physical posture to drop right into the body, into embodied presence. Beginning to shed distractions in the mind that might be pulling you into things that you need to do later on or things that have already happened. You're just using your body as a portal to practice being present. Start to deepen your breath where you elongate through the sides of your torso from the outsides of your shoulders down to your outer hips. Exhaling through the mouth, hear the breath to the very end. Let the belly lift a little bit more towards the spine. We'll be here for another 3 deep breaths. Feel the rib cage expand as you breathe in. Feel the release of the exhalation as you listen to it through the mouth. One more deep breath. Maybe even sigh it out loudly if you like. Now engaging the belly, slowly rise up onto all fours. We're just going to move a little in cat-cow. So set your hands any way you like. Palms face down, palms face up if you want to stretch the outer wrist or turn out the fingertips. And as you breathe into cow, first glide forward, then coil your chest up. As you exhale into cat, contract your belly, then let the head drop, the tailbone tuck. Taking a few more slow cycles of breath. Feeling the practice of union, which is the literal definition of yoga, between your breath and your body and your mind. Finishing this last round, as you exhale, drop into child's pose with your feet touching. Separate your knees as wide apart as necessary so you could easily lower the head and stretch the arms forward and just settle into stillness. So we are into the last few days of summer. Can you believe it? Last few days of summer 2020. Stepping into fall equinox on Tuesday. Some of you are celebrating with me. And when we reach these turning points of the year, these seasonal changes, it's just another way of reevaluating, or it's another opportunity to reevaluate what has been working in your life thus far, in any realm, work, play, home, and what do you want to continue to perpetuate, and perhaps what do you want to change? And you might consider it like a new year, like a new breath, an open canvas in which to create or reaffirm what you have been creating. So we talk a lot about in yoga setting intentions, and the Sanskrit word for intention is sankalpa. And what does it actually mean to set an intention? It's actually quite different from setting a goal, which is very mentally based. So I found an interesting article from Pure Flow Yoga, and it just has 4 simple steps in setting your intention. 1, make it about you. How do you want to be in the world? What is your highest expression of yourself? And then 2, use your felt sense. How does your body figuratively and literally respond to you creating that intention, to you saying that? If it resonates, you might feel a sense of lightness at the heart or an expansiveness, really tuning into those subtle energetic affirmations. And then the 3rd is to phrase your intention positively and in the present tense. For example, rather than I want to quit smoking or I want to be thin, your intention could be I am healthy and only do things that nourish my body. Or rather than I want to be less anxious, your intention could be I am at peace. So it's already in the form of a mantra. Make your intention withdraw energy from where you don't want your energy to be, and instead direct your energy to where you do want it to go. And then the 4th, keep it simple and concise so that you can easily remember it. But also, if words aren't really your thing, perhaps make your intention an image or a sense. As long as it creates the energetic sensation of what you want, your intention can be truly anything that works for you. Oh, there's actually a 5th step. And it says if you're still drawing a blank, ask yourself, what is it that you truly want from this short and precious life? What are the things that light you up and that make your wild heart sing? Do more of whatever it is that you love and allow yourself to be more you in everything you do. And in doing this, you will align with an intention so deep and profound, it lies beyond what the body can feel or the mind understand, yet all things will fall into place. So if you are still in child's pose, I invite you to walk your hands back to the outsides of your knees. And as you inhale, slowly roll your spine upright. Let's sit tall, preparing the body for an enlivening breath work. So firm down to your left and right sitting bones. Lift up through the center of your spine. Broaden your chest, a sense of openness at the heart. And then relax, shoulders down, soften the jaw. Now, as you close the eyes for a moment, focus on breathing into your belly so that you expand it as you inhale and you contract it as you exhale. Close your lips as we warm up so you're just breathing through the nose, equal in and out breaths. Now, as you breathe in, go a little deeper. So go into the belly, up into the lungs. So you're using that muscle, your diaphragm. Equal inhale, equal exhale through the nose. So we're about to start Bhastrika Pranayama, enlivening breath work that actually helps to calm the mind, settle it down a bit. And with it is a physical action where you bend your elbows apart and make hands like fists. Then you inhale to raise the arms, spread the fingers. Exhale, rebend the elbows and fist the hands. It's rhythmic like this. Keeping the shoulders relaxed, spine tall. And then closing your eyes, steady your gaze just above between your eyebrows. All right, I'm gonna set the timer for 1 minute of this practice. Do what you can. Ready? Begin. And relax. Breathe naturally for a moment. Just observe the effects of that practice. Now easing into Ujjayi Pranayama, still closing your lips, softly narrow the back of your throat and invite a sustained, gentle whispering sound as you equally breathe in and out through your nose. Being patient with your breath and really allowing it space in your body to expand fully and to empty completely. Practicing presence through the breath. Now stay aware of that, lengthening in and out. Softly open your eyes. And let's begin to rise up, standing at the top of your mat. Have your blocks on either side there, and take hold of your strap if you have one, just in case you want a little more support for opening the fronts of your shoulders. Step your feet apart a little wider than your hips distance. Spread your toes and parallel your second toes to each other. And then bring your hands behind your back. So if you're choosing to hold a strap between your hands, point your thumbs to your outer sides, not towards your midline. That'll help to open the chest a little more. Otherwise, you might opt to interlace your fingers and try to hug the heels of your palms together. Now, as you ground through the feet, breathe in and lift your frontal hip bones, lift your back ribs, and coil your chest up, looking towards the sky. As you exhale, bend your knees generously, tilt your weight a little more into the balls of your feet. Think of a flat back as you fold over your legs, completely dropping your head. Continue the steady breaths as you lift the arms forward little by little, away from your torso, bending your elbows slightly. You might like to softly move your head around and just loosen up the neck, loosen up the jaw. As you're lifting your shoulders up, freeing space in your neck. We're here for 3 more deep breaths. Feel this broadening of your collarbones and lower your fingertips outside of your heels. Step your left knee to the ground behind you into a kneeling lunge. Scoot that knee back another inch or 2 so you can offer the top of your left hip and thigh a stretch. Firm your right heel on the ground directly under the knee with your legs hips width apart, and then firm down through the feet to slowly lift your torso up. As you raise the arms overhead, keep lifting through your outer hips, sides of your torso, outer armpits, fingertips, wrapping your outer upper arms forward, broaden the chest. Feel your pelvic bowl. Trying to orient it upright, lift your frontal hip bones by firming the belly in and draw your tailbone downward. As you do that, lift your back ribs away from your tailbone and lengthen your lower spine. Keep broadening the chest. Remember that feeling of clasping the hands behind your back. Part like the shape of a cactus. And as you inhale, lift the chest like cobra pose, coiling it up by contracting right under your shoulder blades. Let the shoulder heads melt down behind you. And as you begin to look up, honor the length in the back of your neck. Relax the eyes for 2 more breaths here in Anjaneyasana. Now set your hands flat on the ground, stepping into your version of plank. We're going to hold for a few breaths. So whether you have your knees on the ground to offer support or you straighten the legs, actively pressing the heels back, stack your shoulders right over your wrists and spread your fingers wide. Look at the ground ahead of your hands and lengthen your neck. Lift the lower belly and spread your shoulder blades apart. Now keeping the belly lifted and contained, as you exhale, glide forward. Slowly bend your elbows back. Pause halfway down in Chaturanga Dandasana. Feel the elbows graze your side ribs. Then slowly lower all the way down. As you point your toes, firm the tops of your feet so much into the ground that your knees are actually lifted from the floor. Keep your pelvis heavy on the earth. Feel your wrists alongside your floating ribs as you hug your elbows close to your sides. Again, contract right under your shoulder blades And peel your chest off the ground, looking on the floor ahead. Take a few breaths in Cobra Pose. Continue to lengthen the back of your neck. Reach your tailbone towards the space between your heels. And take one more inhalation, floating your chest up. Tuck the toes behind you, press the heels back. And as you exhale, contract your belly, pushing up through your version of plank. Lift the pelvis as high as you can. Maybe you bend the knees. And firm your sitting bones back into downward facing dog. We're here for 3 breaths. Wrap your outer upper arms towards the floor, broadening the chest. Then bend your knees a lot and lift your heels and hips. Look forward of your hands, and at the end of your exhalation, try holding your breath, lifting your pelvic floor as you walk or lightly jump to the front of your mat. Then inhale, press your legs to the ground, lengthen forward, firm the belly in. Exhale, fold again. Firm down through your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. This time interlacing your fingers, flip your palms inside out. As you firm down through the feet, inhale, lift up through the heels of your palms while relaxing the shoulders down. Exhale for a few breaths, side bend to your right while making your left foot feel heavier. Allow the bottom of your front ribs to soften inward towards your back and downward towards your pubic bone. Maintaining the length along the sides of your neck, breathe into the left side of your torso. Now firming the belly in, rise up as you inhale, switching the interlacing of thumb and index on top, flip the palms up, ground the feet, stand tall, then exhale to the left, side bending. Feel the weight of your right foot get heavier as you keep your 2 frontal hip bones facing your front wall. Breathe into the right side of your torso. Firm the belly in. Inhale, rise up. Open the arms wide and hinge from your hips, extending the chest forward as you fold. Plant your fingertips outside of your heels and step your right knee to the ground behind you in a kneeling lunge. Now scoot that knee back another inch or 2 so you can offer the top of your right thigh and hip a stretch. Untuck the back toes. Firm your left heel to the floor directly under your left knee. And with your legs hips width apart, begin to lift the torso and arms, rising into a kneeling lunge. Now feel a sense of containing your center, that area just below your belly button, through the action of lifting your frontal hip bones towards the bottom of your front ribs and letting your tailbone feel like a heavy anchor reaching for the ground. Lift your back ribs away from it and lengthen your lower back. And as you reach up through the arms, feel the reach begin all the way down from your outer hips. Wrap your outer upper arms to face forward, broadening your chest. And then begin to bend the elbows apart, sliding the shoulder blades further down your back, right underneath the shoulder blades. Contract and tilt your heart up. Taking about 2 more deep breaths. Keep broadening your collarbones. Relax your face, soften the eyes. Then set your hands flat on the floor. Step into your version of plank pose. Pausing there for just 2 breaths to feel a sense of a strong line of energy from the crown of your head down your spine, if the legs are straight, down to your heels. Maintain that line of energy as you exhale to glide forward, pass through four-limb staff or Chaturanga Dandasana. Then decide to lower for Cobra or flip the toes from there, pelvis staying lifted into Upward Dog. Take a few breaths. Feel the energy of your legs stretching back as you firm down through the tops of your feet, coiling the chest from right under the shoulder blades. Then contract your belly as you exhale to lift your tailbone high and draw your weight towards the rear of your mat in downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. So as you hold the body still, let the eyes steady their gaze too. All of those contribute into directing your focus, directing where you put your energy. As you bend your knees, look ahead of your hands. On empty breath, think of lifting your pelvic floor as you engage the belly, walk or float to the top. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, forward fold. From down to the feet, lead with the chest. Inhale, sweep the arms, rise all the way up. This time, watch the palms meet in salutation. Exhale, bring the salutation to your heart. We're gonna mark through a semi-flow the sequence. We're gonna continuously flow through a few rounds. Inhale, sweep the arms up, look up. Exhale, hinge from your hips, leading with the chest. Press the ground of your legs. Inhale, lift the chest, lengthen forward. Plant the hands flat, step to plank, or flow into chaturanga. Keep going through your vinyasa, cobra, or upward facing dog. Lifting your hips back to downward facing dog. Start with your feet hips width apart. Keep your hips balanced. Inhale, raise your right leg back, flexing the toes downward. Exhale, bend the right knee towards your nose so you dome your spine, and with softness, you land the right foot inside of your right hand, this time into a high lunge. So feet are hips width apart, parallel, firm down through your feet and slowly rise. Arms reaching overhead. So for the first crescent pose, you might like to bend the left knee in helping your pelvic bowl to orient upright. Tailbone down, hips squared, frontal hip bone slightly lifted. Relaxing the shoulders as you broaden your chest, steady your gaze ahead. Join your hands and slide them in front of your heart, turning to your left in Warrior Two. Spin your left heel down so the toes slightly face forward, and slide your right foot a few inches to the left to align that heel to the arch of your left foot. Now, as you open the arms, your chest is completely facing the left wall, but your gaze is just past your right fingertips. Feel your right outer hip rotate underneath your body, directing your tailbone straight downward. Firm the top of your left thigh bone towards the right wide width of your mat, leveling your two hips as much as you can. Lift the spine from the pelvis, though you might bend the right knee a little deeper towards 90 degrees. Take another cycle of breath. Keep the same bend in your right knee and flip the right palm to face up. Lift the sides of your torso, then lean laterally towards your rear wall, sweeping the right arm overhead, landing your left hand lightly on your left leg. Exalted warrior, also called peaceful warrior. Take a couple more breaths, opening up your right side body with your breath. Inhale here. Exhale, touch the ground. Framing your right foot with both hands, step into plank. Lowering through chaturanga. You might keep the right leg lifted if you want to engage core muscles a little more, but then place both feet down as you inhale into your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. And take a couple of breaths. Now see your feet hips width apart, balancing your hips. Inhale, raise the left leg behind you. Round the spine and exhale, lightly land the left foot forward just inside of your left hand so that your hips width apart in a high lunge. Then firm into the ground and slowly rise as you breathe into crescent pose. Now again, you might want to bend your back knee, especially for the first one, to help you orient your pelvis. Upright, hips squared. Then lifting the back rib, consciously lengthen your lower spine. Wrapping the triceps forward, consciously broaden across the shoulders, softening them down. As you steady your eyes, just take one more breath. Then draw together at your heart and turn to your right. Spin the right heel down, but turn the toes slightly to face forward. Slide the left foot a few inches to the right, aligning that heel to the arch of your right foot. And as you turn your chest completely to face your right wall, open the arms wide. Notice your tailbone straight downward, while firming the top of your right thigh bone towards the left wide width of your mat. Feel your two hips attempt to rebalance. Though you're bending the left knee just over the heel and perhaps towards 90 degrees, lift up through the center of your spine and broaden your chest to the reach of your arms. One last breath. Keep the same bend in your left knee. Flip the left palm to face up. Lift the sides of your torso, then lean laterally towards your rear wall. Left arm overhead, right fingertips land lightly on the right leg. Exalted or peaceful warrior. Softening the shoulders down, breathe consciously into the left side of your torso. Deep inhale. Exhale, land your hands on the earth, framing your left foot. Step into plank. If you'd like to add more core rigor, keep the left leg lifted as you lower through chaturanga. Both feet on the ground as you inhale into cobra or upward dog. Engage the belly to lift the hips back to downward dog. There, establish the cadence of your breath for 3 to 5 cycles as your body remains still. Eyes focused. So what is your intention for your practice today? And through the energetic approach of your movements and holding your body still, how are you cultivating the energy of that intention? Anything we do can be sacred with the focus and energy we put into it. Bend your knees, look ahead of your hands. On empty breath, lightly land at the top. Inhale, lengthen halfway up. Exhale, fold. Root into the earth. Lift with your heart. Inhale, rise. Palms meet in union. Exhale, unite that to the center of your heart. 2 rounds, same sequence, continuous flow. Inhale, sweep the space around you. Gather it all in. Exhale, bow with the chest leading. Exhale, lift the heart and lengthen forward. Step to plank or float lightly through chaturanga. Keep going through your vinyasa. Ride the waves of your breath back to downward dog. Then inhale, raise the right leg. Contain your center as you lightly land the foot forward into a high lunge. Root into the ground. Inhale, rise up to crescent pose. Join the hands at your heart, turn left. Exhale into warrior 2. Flip the right palm up. Inhale, reach towards your rear wall, peaceful warrior, exalted warrior. Exhale, touch the ground with both hands and continue to lower into your vinyasa of choice. As you practice compassion with yourself and connection to your body, know when to modify or rest. Side 2, inhale, raise the left leg. Exhale, lightly step it forward into a high lunge. Root into the earth. Inhale, rise towards the sky. Then join your hands at the heart and exhale, turn right. Warrior 2. Left palm up. Inhale, sweep it overhead. Warrior. Exhale, touch the earth with both hands and continue to ride the wave down into your vinyasa, perhaps cat-cow. Feel the gracefulness of your breath as you listen to it. Feel the stability of your body as you allow it to be still. And observe the effects on stabilizing your mind. Now, last round, when you're ready, look forward. Empty your breath so that you're lighter to land. Inhale, lift your heart and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up. Expand your wings. Palms meet towards the sun. Exhale, bring that energy back to your heart. Inhale, sweep the space around you. Exhale, dive in. Inhale, expand your heart forward. Step to plank or float through chaturanga. Keep going. Hear your breath. From downward dog, inhale, raise your right leg. Exhale, softly land it forward into a high lunge. Inhale, rise tall, crescent pose. Join the hands at heart. Exhale, turn left, warrior two. Flip the right palm up. Inhale, sweep it over, exalted warrior. Exhale, hands meet the earth, lower into your vinyasa. Steadiness and ease. Feel the balance. Side two, last one. Inhale, raise your left leg. Exhale, slowly land the foot forward into a high lunge. Inhale, rise, crescent pose. Hands at heart. Exhale, turn right, warrior two. Flip the left palm, inhale, sweep it overhead, exalted, peaceful warrior. Lower the two hands, continue to ride the wave down. Feel your lungs welcome the aliveness of your breath. Feel your body welcome stillness in downward dog. With bent knees, look ahead of your hands, and with intention, lightly land at the top. Inhale, rise halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Now as your feet touch, bend your knees to touch, sinking your weight towards your heels, maybe graze the ground with your fingertips and play with keeping your hips that low for chair pose. As you lift the spine upright, join your hands together at your heart and shift your weight onto your right foot. Turning out your left leg from the hip, prepare for eagle pose. Flex the left foot, lift it off the ground and wrap the left leg over the right. Keeping your hips squared, you might also tuck the left toes behind your right calf and scissor the left hip further back. Now see if you can sit a little lower as you keep the spine upright. And if you'd like to add the wings of eagle, bend your elbows apart, then wrap the right elbow over the left. Either hooking your thumbs or wrapping your forearms and palms, soften the shoulders down and lift your heart. As you steady your eyes, remember that the eagle is often a symbol of vision. What you visualize, what you'd like to create. We're going to take flight and land in warrior two, slowly as you can. So unravel your wings or join your hands together at your hearts. Unravel the left leg and slowly step the left foot all the way to the rear of your mat. You've already been to warrior two, so allow a moment to feel it, the alignment of this posture. Then straighten your right leg, firm the front muscles of your thighs and glide your pelvis sideways towards the rear edge of your mat for triangle pose. Reaching your right hand forward, lengthen the right side of your torso as you decide at what height to land your right hand, on your leg or just to the right of your leg. Pressing your right arm and right leg against each other, continue to wrap your right outer hip under your body as you now direct your tailbone actively towards your left outer heel. Lengthen your spine from the pelvis, reaching the crown of your head towards your front wall. Open the left arm towards the sky and see if you can make the right hand a little lighter. As you firm your quadriceps, obliques, and belly, hear the breath. Now wrapping your left tricep, outer upper arm to face the left wall. Sweep. At the ground in front of your right foot, and lower your two hands to frame your right ankle. Turning your left hip to face the front of your mat, step your left foot forward 1/3 into the shorter stance and to the left so that you land your feet entirely on the ground, hips distance. With legs straight, inhale, lift the chest, parallel to the floor. Exhale, raise the right arm, keep the pelvis still and twist, turning your chest to face the right wall. Now, if you feel that your right hip is creeping up towards your right shoulder, towards the front of your mat, you could use your right thumb, hook the outer crease of your right hip, and gently tack it back so that your hips are leveled, or you might even try to balance a block right across the lowest portion of your lower back. Now, if you're opting for deeper twists or challenging your balance some more, step your left hand to the outside, the right side of your right foot. We're here for 3 more breaths in revolved triangle pose. Harita Trikonasana. Look down, lower your 2 hands, preparing to come into modified warrior 3. Step your hands a foot ahead of your right toes. Keep your hips leveled and flex your left foot off the floor, creating a horizontal line from the top of your head throughout your torso, throughout your left leg and heel. Imagine you're pressing your heart through the gates of your arms. Keep flexing the left heel back and grow the chest forward as you inhale. Now continue to raise the left leg as you exhale to bow in towards just your right leg. Maybe walking the hands a little closer to it, or holding on to your right calf with one or both arms. Notice the difference when you don't flex the left foot here and how that affects your physical balance. Standing splits, take another deep breath. And softly land the left foot, hips distance from the right, forward fold. From down through your feet, inhale, circle your arms and rise up to stand. Exhale, trace your thumbs down your center line. Feel the breath in, feel the release of the breath out. Bring your feet together to touch. Being right in this moment, try not to anticipate what's next. I know, because I do that too. Bring your knees together. Sink your weight towards your heels. Coming into chair, you might graze the floor with your fingertips, keeping the hips that low to start. Now join the hands at your heart. Shift your weight onto your left foot. Turn out your right leg from the hip and flex your right foot as you raise it. Wrapping the right leg over the left, square your hips. Either flex the right foot outside of your left leg or tuck the right toes behind your left calf, scissoring your right hip further back. Now see if you can sit a little lower, as that will help to balance. How's your breathing? If you want to add the wings of eagle pose, cactus, bend your elbows apart, then cross the left elbow over your right. Hook your thumbs or wrap the forearms and palms. Soften the shoulders down, float your heart up, and steady your drishti or gaze. What are you visualizing for yourself as you culminate summer and enter fall soon? Or just for today, or just for this practice. Now beginning to unravel the right leg to step into warrior 2. You could bring the hands in prayer, or you could open the arms wide. Slow motion, set the right foot towards the rear of your mat. Align left heel to arch of right foot and open the arms. Feel your steady breath. Then straighten your left leg and firm the front muscles of your thighs. Triangle pose. Slide the hips towards the rear of your mat. Reach your left hand towards your front wall, lengthening your left side body. Lower the left hand onto your left leg or just to the left of it, where arm and leg could press against each other. Continue to wrap your left outer hip under your body, reaching your tailbone towards your right outer heel. Lengthening your spine and crown towards your front wall. As you reach up to the right fingertips, see if you can lighten the weight of your left hand. 3 more breaths to explore a triangle here. Now let's add a little more lengthening to the right side body. Wrap your right tricep to face the right wall. Then sweep the right arm overhead towards your front wall. Couple of deeper breaths into the right side of your torso. Look down at your left foot. Lower both hands to frame your left ankle. Turn your right hip to face the front wall. And step your right foot forward 1/3 shorter stance. Walk your right foot to the right, so each foot has its own lane. Feet are hips distance, both heels are on the ground. With legs straight, lift your spine parallel to the ground and look forward as you lengthen it. Exhale, keep the pelvis balanced and raise your left arm, palm facing left wall. Rotate your chest little by little to face your left wall. Slide the shoulder blades down your back ribs. And if you feel that your left hip is creeping towards your front wall a bit, you could use your left thumb, hook the outer crease of your left hip back, or even place a block across the lowest portion of your lower back. You've got 3 more breaths in revolved triangle pose. Look down in front of your left foot as we enter modified warrior 3. Crawl your hands a foot in front of your left toes and flex your right foot as you tilt your weight entirely onto the left. Raising the right leg parallel to the floor, imagine pressing your heart through the gates of your arms. Keep lengthening from top of your head to your right heel, flexing the right toes to face the ground. Now keep lifting your right leg from the inner thigh as you flex the foot so your hips remain squared as you bow closer to your left shin. Standing splits. You might like to walk your hands further back. Hold on to your left calf with one or both arms. And how high you're lifting your right leg, be more concerned about keeping your hips leveled and stabilizing your lower back. Breathe in and breathe out. Set your right foot all the way to your mat. Come into a wide stance and pivot your toes to face the wide width of your mat, right away into a wide-legged forward fold. Once there, lift the chest forward, breathe in, and hinge from your hips as you breathe out. Beginning to walk your hands back. Now, there are ways to modify this if you're feeling that your back is rounding or the floor is too low to reach and you don't have blocks to raise the floor up to your hands. You could step the feet wider apart. You could bend the knees or a combination of that. Really be mindful of lengthening your spine into the feeling of a flat back, creating space between your ears and shoulders. Those of you who are entering either crow pose, feel free to do that on your own, or tripod headstand. If you're choosing that, I'll walk you through. Place the hands back so they pass your heels behind you, creating an equilateral triangle, right? So the sides are equal distance from each other. You have the 3 vertices, the crown of your head, and the heels of your palms. Elbows are pointing back like Chaturanga Dandasana. Arms are parallel. Then use the hands to press the floor away and lift the shoulders away from the neck. creating most of your weight on your hands, less weight on your head. Maintain the natural length and curvature of your neck. Then, as though you're entering crow pose, you could begin to stack your knees on top of your upper arms that you've created a shelf out of 90-degree bends at the elbows. Hollowing the belly, you might lift the tailbone towards the sky and perhaps unfold the legs straight so the heels are flexed towards the ceiling like you're actually standing on it. Creating a vertical line from the heels down to the hips. Arms up, shoulders width. 5 or so breaths. Resting in child's pose. Version you're doing now. Coming out of tripod headstand, if you're there, you could go in the same route, bending the knees, restacking them on top, or just setting the feet down from opening the legs apart. Now remember not to lift your head abruptly after you've been upside down for, as that can cause lightheadedness. So just ease out of it halfway up, pause for at least a full breath. And then bring your knees to the ground as we'll all meet in Balasana, child's pose. Breathe in through the nose, breathe out, listen to the breath, rebalance. Now from child's pose, let's slither forward onto our bellies, coming into Sphinx pose. Offering the fronts of your thighs a stretch across the left forearm in front of your chest. And bend your right knee, back stroking your right arm so you can catch hold of the big toe side, the inside of your right ankle or foot. Then have your knees no wider apart than your hips distance. Reground both of your frontal hip bones, turning your chest completely to face forward through the support of your left forearm pressing the floor. As you breathe here, another 4 or so breaths. Draw your right heel slightly towards the outside of your right hip. Soften the tops of your shoulders down as you breathe your chest wide open, slightly lifting your sternum as you look on the floor ahead. Relax your face. You've got 2 last breaths. Gently release your right leg and come back to Sphinx with both forearms parallel in front of your chest. Either hold still or softly move your head if that feels good for you. Cross your right forearm in front of your chest and bend your left knee, backstroke your left arm. Catch hold of the inside, big toe side of left ankle or foot. Have your knees no wider apart than your hips distance. Ground both of your frontal hip bones. Turn your chest to face forward. Feel the support of your right forearm. And for just about 4 more breaths, bring your left heel slightly to the outside of your left outer hip. Slide your shoulder blades down your back. Breathe your heart space open. Soften the muscles on your face. One last breath. Then let it go. Rest your forehead all the way to the ground as we prepare for 3 active heart opening back bends. Starting in locust pose, each one will be different. Rest your forehead on the floor, slide your knees as close together as you can, and bring your arms down by your thighs, straight down, palms facing the ground. Keeping your legs and feet parallel and no wider apart than your hips distance the whole time will help offer support for your lower back. Press your heels back as you point your toes and begin to lift everything you can off the floor like you're taking flight. You could keep the arms reaching back, palms face down, or open the arms like wings. And by rotating the front of your shoulders back, begin to turn the palms to slightly face forward. Or if you want to activate more back muscles to work, reach the arms overhead like you're holding a beach ball in front of you so that your upper arms are aligned with your ears as you look slightly down. Notice that you're not straining your neck or your breath. You're relaxing the shoulders down, growing the tailbone back, lifting the heart with each breath. Shalabhasana, locust pose. After another 1 to 4 breaths, you decide, let it all go. You might like to pigeon toe your feet, rest one side of your head to the ground or your forearms, and take some slow belly breaths, massaging your belly against the earth. All right, the next posture is bow, Dhanurasana. If you have lower back issues or tonic or chronic tightness there, you might opt to practice Shalabhasana again, the posture we just did on your own instead. Otherwise, for bow, scoot your knees as close together as you can to begin so that you keep them no wider than hips width the whole time. Bend your knees, with your hands catch your outer feet, press your pubic bone against the ground, and kick your legs back as you pull the feet towards you, lifting your knees. Right under your shoulder blades, coil your chest up, look down ahead, and soften the shoulders away from your neck. Relax your face. How's your breath? I love these 2 back bends in that it feels like you're taking flight, like you're soaring, creating a sense of buoyancy at the heart, your navigation system. When you let it go, turn your head the other way and offer 3 deep breaths into your belly. This is the last back bend on your stomach, so if you want to loosen the lower back a bit more, you could windshield wiper your shins left and right too. And now for our third, last heart opening back bend. Flip over onto your back to set up for either bridge pose. If you have a yoga block, restorative bridge, where you place the block right under your sacrum and rest on it, or upward facing bow, Urdhva Dhanurasana. Bridge and upward facing bow have the same beginning setup. Separate your feet about hips distance. If you do have a block, I recommend hugging the skinny width between your thighs to support your lower back more. Bring your arms down to your sides and locate your feet by sliding them back where you could almost touch your heels with your fingertips, but not quite. As you parallel the feet, firm them down from your shoulders down until your chin slightly back. Now here's the difference. If you're going to bridge, lift the pelvis, slide the arms under, maybe clasp the hands, 5 to 10 breaths. If you're going to upward bow, first bend your elbows and plant your palms face down alongside your ears, fingertips pointing towards the shoulders and slightly to the outer edges of your mat. Just like your legs, keep your arms parallel, very important to protect your shoulders. Then begin like bridge. Lift your pelvis, activate your hamstrings and slightly your glutes by imagining you're dragging your heels towards your glutes without moving your feet. Then for upward bow, bring the top of your head to the floor and pause. Slide the shoulder blades further down your back and towards each other. You need to adjust the hands a little wider apart or turn out the fingers a little more so you don't splay the elbows. Keep the arms parallel. Then you could press through the hands, press through the feet, and lift the head through the action of your hamstrings, engaging like you're dragging the heels towards the glutes. Also lengthen the fronts of your thighs forward. Feel the space you're creating in the lower back. You should feel no compression there. Broadening the chest as you relax the neck. When you decide to come down from upward facing bow, go in reverse through the same stages. Lower the top of your head to the floor, pause, tuck the chin towards your chest, pause, then gently lower one vertebra at a time. Whatever back bend you just did, lower your pelvis, separate your feet wider than your knees, just as wide apart as both of your knees to your left side. Point your right knee down the center line of your mat. Now this is offering a stretch into the right side of your psoas, which are muscles that crisscross across the lower back and into the front creases of the hips. If you're not yet feeling it in the right side, pick up your left foot, cross your left ankle just above your right knee onto your right thigh, and just allow the weight of that leg naturally to encourage more opening into the right side of your psoas. Just 3 more breaths here. You might like to hold opposite elbows overhead, helping to lengthen the sides of your waist. Long exhalation, perhaps through your mouth, as you cool your body down. Take your time coming back to center as you're ready, setting your feet apart wider than your hips distance, separating your knees just as wide apart as your feet. Then slowly let the knees fall to the right. Point your left knee down the center line of your mat. Feel into the left side of your lower back and hip. Does it need more intensity on this side? If so, pick up your right foot, cross your right ankle onto your left thigh, just above your left knee. Breathe into this process. Allow it space to unravel, to release, to open as it needs. As you bring your body into whatever posture, then you use the breath to hold space for what needs to occur there. One more long exhalation, maybe through the mouth. Unwind. Bend your knees apart into happy baby, or hug your knees into your chest. Maybe rock chin to massage your a deep breath. The knees into your chest. Close your eyes, hold. Squeeze in a little tighter if you can. And with a big sigh, your arms and legs to the ground. Dropping right in to Shavasana. Now, as you let your body remain still, eyes perhaps closed, center your inward gaze to the middle of your chest, your heart energy center. Rest your awareness there and just observe anything you might feel in that area. Now, as I count from 5, taking a deep inhale, we'll hold the breath in. Then I'll count from 5 again. We'll exhale slowly through the mouth and hold the breath out. Each breath, expand your awareness from the middle of your chest into concentric, expanding circles, pervading the rest of your body. Empty this breath. Inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold. Exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold. Inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold. Exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold. Try one more cycle on your own. Then as you feel ready, begin with soft movements, gentle stretch, waking up your body, turning your head. You might like to draw your knees into your chest and roll over to your right side, gradually lifting your body into a comfortable, grounded, and tall seat. And when sitting, let your palms meet at the center of your chest, lifting the heart and bowing in. So what is your intention moving forward into the rest of your day? Let's close the practice with one Om. Take a deep breath. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.